Hi, welcome back to another video. I started my investment journey by watching YouTube videos. During the pandemic, I watched way too many finance YouTubers that within 12 months of this new obsession, I had opened up a brokerage account. Prior to my current investment journey, I was like every other investor, investing in mutual funds through my bank, contributing automated amounts, a measly amount, a really small amount that did not seem to grow or go anywhere, especially compared to how much I have grown my portfolio over the last 3.5 years. So during the pandemic, I watched a lot of YouTube videos, listened to vlogs and podcasts, and I thought, if they can do it, I can do it. And off I went. So in this video, I'll share with you 5 free and accessible resources that anyone can learn from and take advantage of to learn about investing and change their financial fortune and build wealth. So here we go. The first free resource is personal finance books. Hear me out. You can borrow personal finance books from your local library or from family and friends. I have a few personal finance books and my friends and family borrow from me. And likewise, I borrow from friends and family from my local library and I never have to pay. Some of the titles might sound intimidating, but actually a lot of the personal finance books on investing, on budgeting are actually very user-friendly and easy to understand. One can also pick second-hand or used personal finance books online on Marketplace and other online resellers for pennies to the dollar, so they're quite affordable. I have a list of some of my favorite personal finance books in the description section below. One of my all-time favorite personal finance books is The Millionaire Next Door by Thomas Stanley and William Denko. This book will change your perspective on wealth and it will change your life. You'll hear phrases like prodigious accumulators of wealth, POWs, and under-accumulators of wealth. Here are 7 takeaways from The Millionaire Next Door. 1. The affluent live below their means. Number 2, for the wealthy, financial independence is more important than showing off high social status. Number 3, wealthy people allocate their time, energy, and money efficiently in ways conducive to building wealth. Number 4, the wealthy are proficient at taking advantage of market opportunities. Their parents did not provide economic outpatient care to the wealthy. Most of them are self-made. They made their own wealth. Number 6, the adult kids of the affluent are self-sufficient. And number 7, they choose the right occupations. So if you can, get your hand on a copy of this book. I promise you won't be disappointed. The second book is The Simple Path to Wealth by J.L. Collins. This is probably one of the greatest investment books, especially for beginner investors. Here are a few takeaways from the book. You should learn about and understand money. If you understand money, it will stop being intimidating. You can use money to buy a lot of things, but think about money as your way to freedom. Unless you are Warren Buffett and a great stock picker, stick with index funds or ETFs. So that's a simple path to wealth. Number 3 is The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel, who tells us the true value of money is to buy your freedom and not stuff. He also says the difference between the rich and the wealthy is that wealth is not loud. It's the stuff you don't see. And again, like the first 2, he recommends putting your money in broad market index funds or ETFs and letting your money grow passively. That's the psychology of money. Number 4. Rich Dad, Poor Dad. In this book, Robert Kiyosaki tells us to categorize our spending into 2 categories: assets and liabilities. Assets put money in your pocket, liabilities takes money away from us. So focus on growing your assets in order to build wealth. Another great book is 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. It will help you set goals in order to remain focused, to have a why for your investing. If you set a goal and have a why, you will remain focused. Early retirement, buying back your freedom, traveling, because your future dream is motivating and you'll stay focused on that. Eleanor Roosevelt once said, "The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams." What is your future goal? How much do you want to get there? What's your why? Other books that I love are The Little Book of Common Sense Investing by John Bogle, I'll Teach You to Be Rich by Ramit Sethi, and The Wealthy Barber by Dave Chilton. So get your hand on some great personal finance books that will help you on your investment journey. Most importantly, they'll change your life by shifting your focus on how you see the value of money, from just owning stuff, for instance, to buying your freedom. Now, if you enjoy content like this, please consider liking this video and subscribing to my channel. It helps the channel grow. Number 2, the second resource is social media. As I indicated earlier, I got started on my investment journey by watching YouTube videos like this one, shameless plug. But there are also other platforms like TikTok or Instagram. But I have found that YouTube tends to have more in-depth and well-structured and more technical, more professional content. You still have to be careful. Do not just go out and consume all that information, line, hook, and sinker. Some of it I have found over time is a bit wanting. But seeing that we spend a lot of time on social media because we're tethered to our electronics, might as well use it to do some research on personal finance, investing, and so on. So as I indicated, my go-to platform is YouTube. And there are different classes of content creators. There are individuals like me who are sharing our experiences and knowledge on personal finance. And then there are also large, financial companies like Morningstar. I'm not recommending them per se. I'm just saying that I go on YouTube and I watch Morningstar. There are other individual creators like Gen X Dividend Investor or Dividend Data. I used to watch a lot of Andrew Jig, a Canadian in a t-shirt. I am not recommending any of this content. I'm just sharing some of the content that I have consumed on YouTube. Dave Ramsey for personal finance is great. The other free resource online includes vlogs and podcasts. These are easy to consume because you just need your headphone on and you can listen to these while running errands, doing chores. Bigger Pocket Money is one that I used to listen to quite a bit. And I'm sure there are others maybe on TikTok and Instagram. So anyway, seeing that we are online a lot, you might as well use the platforms for free to educate yourself, to learn from other people's experiences in order to get on your way with your investment journey. The third free resource is to follow successful investors like Warren Buffett. Listen to what they're saying, follow their actions, and even look at their portfolios. Here's something. Recall when it was all over the news that Warren Buffett was building or beefing up his cash position? Imagine if we all followed after him. What we would have done in Apple when the tariff news hit the market and stocks tanked. We would have picked up a lot of stocks at a bargain. So we knew in the fall that Warren Buffett was beefing up his cash position. It was all over financial media. If you were a follower of Warren Buffett, you could have built up some cash position and prepared for April the 4th. Additionally, you can look at portfolios of some of these successful investors. Warren Buffett, for instance, look at this, is watched by a lot of investors, including other big money managers. So this is on CNBC, and you can see that you can Google and pick up his financial reporting, his 13F filing. This is as of May the 15th. And you can see this is for his holdings as at the end of March of 2025. And if you scroll down here, you can see the list of some of his stocks, the noteworthy positions. I'm sure he has much more than this. And his total capitalization was 1.1 trillion. And his cash on hand, look at that. His cash on hand at the end of March was $348 billion. We all watched him accumulate this cash. I know of some people who base their investments purely on the portfolios of some of these super investors or very successful investors like Warren Buffett. I actually personally have about 5 stocks that Warren has in his portfolio. I have Coca-Cola, I have Apple, I have Procter & Gamble, I have Visa, can't remember the fourth, but I have I think about 5 or 6 stocks in my portfolio that appear in Warren Buffett's portfolio. Now, did I invest purely to imitate him? No. But it turns out my picks were in line with his, and so I have some confidence in that. I also follow Bill Ackman of Pershing Square Holdings. I also like Howard Marks of Oaktree Capitals, and I follow Kevin O'Leary because he's a passionate dividend investor like I am. So find some successful investors, Even in videos on YouTube, look at their portfolios if they're willing to share them. It might help guide your choice of stocks to invest in. Ultimately, you still have to do the research for yourself before you invest in any stocks. Don't follow anyone blindly. Number 4, financial websites. Yes, a lot of financial websites have parts of their website that is free to access. Granted, most of them have paywalls for paying members, but there's a lot of information that a lot of investors can get from the free components or the free sections of a lot of websites. I use Yahoo Finance all the time, and I know that a lot of investors turn to Yahoo Finance, and there is a lot of useful information in the free section of the platform. Here, let's search for Apple, for instance, ticker symbol AAPL, and see what information you can find on the free section of Yahoo Finance. So here we are on Yahoo Finance. I've entered the ticker for Apple, AAPL. And you can see here that there is a paywall for premium members, but even right here on the free section of Yahoo Finance, you can find a lot of helpful information. You can see the numbers changing in real time, the share price for Apple. You can also find year-to-date information on the performance of Apple as a stock. You can see here year-to-date, it's 17% down, or over the last year, the performance of Apple, it was up about 8.3%. The last 5 years, Apple was up about 160%. And if you scroll down ever so slightly, you can see the day range trading. So Apple's been trading between $206 and $208 last 52 weeks. Apple was as low as $170 and as high as $260, the yield on the stock, and so on. And if you wanted to check the financial health of the stock, you can come to Financials, click on the Financials tab right there, right here, click on Financials, and then here you can see the income statement summarized, balance sheet, cash flow. Let's look at the free cash flow of Apple, for instance. If you click on cash flow, remember amounts are in thousands of dollars. So whatever numbers you see are in thousands of dollars. So under cash flow, if we wanted to look at the free cash flow for Apple, $98 billion, 98.5 almost. So that is free to access on Yahoo Finance. How about as a dividend investor trying to find the payout ratio? If you come to statistics and scroll right down, you can see under dividends, here there's the payout ratio for Apple, just about 15.6%. That's a very good payout ratio. It means the company has a lot of room to grow its dividends. So that is Yahoo Finance, for instance. Let's look at another financial website, Seeking Alpha. So let's enter the ticker symbol for Visa to look at the CAGR, the dividend growth for Visa. So here is Visa. If you scroll down ever so slightly, we're on Seeking Alpha. This is a great financial website. If you come to dividends, then look at dividend growth, you will find the CAGR, the compound annual growth rate. The 5-year compound annual growth rate for dividends is almost 15%. The 10-year CAGR is almost 17.4%. So you can see that there's plenty of useful financial information you can get from the websites of different financial companies for free. Talking of free financial websites, you can also get a lot of free helpful information from the websites of the large brokerages like Vanguard, Fidelity, BlackRock, Charles Schwab, and so on. Questrade, whatever your platform is. Let's look at the website of Fidelity, for instance. So if you came to Fidelity's website, and I will go, for instance, to news and research, and if I went under stocks, ETFs, and crypto, you'll be surprised at how much information you can get. So there are all these graphs that look overwhelming, but you can just find, let's go under ETFs. That's a kind of mutual fund, of course, a basket of stocks, very similar to index funds. If you come to ETFs and scroll down and find just very basic information on ETFs and index funds, understanding ETFs, you scroll down, benefits of ETFs, for instance. If you click on that, and you can find out what an ETF is, the advantages, the cost advantages, and so on, the disadvantages, tax advantages, and so on. So, looking at financial websites is a great, accessible, and free resource for investors. Last but not least is free seminars, workshops, and training sessions at libraries, community centers, even community colleges and universities. Every so often, they're free speakers. I know this because I have been an instructor at local community centers in my city to offer financial literacy classes on subjects from banking to credit cards to debt management, taxation, basic investing. By attending these workshops, you get to ask technical questions of the presenters and instructors and other professionals who go to deliver these training workshops and seminars. So consider logging into library websites and looking at schedules of activities, or community centers or community colleges. So that's my quick list of 5 resources that are free and accessible that can help you on your investment journey and other financial areas. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful. If you did, please consider liking and subscribing, share with family and friends. I'll see you in the next one.